Because what happens is when you're feeling discouraged, you sometimes will think or feel like you've studied a lot more than you actually have. Sí, hola significa como en el mar, ¿no? Como con agua. Pero onda es como microwave, como onda de ciencia, pues. ¿Tú sabes cuando tú estudias ciencias? Y sí, como ondas que no ves, pues. O waves que no ves. In a week, what tends to happen is I do lots and lots of content, lots and lots of video, lots and lots of all sorts of content, right? A week in review would essentially be like me going through all the footage, taking footage that I didn't use in my previous post and creating another post out of it. So I did that once. I did that for the first time yesterday. Many people who talk about languages, who talk about language learning, when you look at them, a lot of them say the same thing. They will say there is no best language learning method. A lot of them say this. And yet, when you actually start to dissect some of their content, what you notice is that they say in some situations that, oh, there is no best method. But in other situations, they're really saying like, this is how you should do it. This system is better than that system, blah, 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 blah. And I think there's a variety of reasons why this happens. I think in many cases, it depends on what moment you catch someone in. For example, you might ask someone a question like, oh, what do you think the best method is? And they start talking about X, Y, Z. It might have just been the way the question was framed. It might have been like the mentality you caught that individual in. I think some people, they have a tendency they have a business or financial vested interest to say that this system is better because maybe that is their system.
You were the only one that kept me alive. You were the only one that was on my side. You were the only one that kept me alive.
Recently, I have given up on the notion of having perfect pronunciation, which is a big thing for me because normally myself, I've always been obsessed with sounding like native. Not even near native, I've always wanted to sound native when I speak a foreign language. And so accent, pronunciation, things like that, that's a really, really big piece of it. But recently I've let go of that concept a little bit, mostly because two things. Number one, I actually don't take the action steps to actually have perfect pronunciation. For me to have perfect pronunciation, I need to live in a country for a while. I need to be surrounded by people that speak that language. I need to put all of my focus on it to develop that perfect pronunciation, and then I need to put the effort into maintaining it. And myself, since I want to know 8 different languages, right, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to take the right action steps to do so. Weirdly though, what's interesting is I am someone, and whether this sounds egotistical or not, I am someone who's more than capable of sounding perfectly native in a language. I'm very, very capable of doing it. I know that's in me. It's just not something that... It is something I've decided that is not going to be a major focus anymore. It's just going to be basically now I've settled for near native. And what that's going to allow me to do is to create more content in Spanish, create more content in French, create more Chinese Mandarin content, create more in a variety of different languages because I've let go of the notion of saying, I need to be perfect at accent, perfect pronunciation. I just need to be in the top 5%, which for me, that sounds super crazy, but for me, that relieves a lot of pressure because I believe I'm good enough at having pronunciation, at improving my accent, getting to the point where I am in the top 5%, the top 10%, whatever it is. So. If you are learning a language, the thing I highly recommend that you start tracking is how many hours you actually studied your reading, how many hours you studied your writing, how many hours you studied speaking, how many hours you studied listening. every single day and every single week. Because, a couple reasons. Number one, what will sometimes happen is sometimes you will feel discouraged that, oh, my speaking is not improving, or oh, my listening is not improving, or oh, blah, blah, blah isn't improving. If you've tracked per day exactly how many hours you've studied each different element, reading, writing, speaking, listening, every single element, there's probably going to be a correlation. You can say that, oh, wow, when I've been studying writing for 1 hour a day or whatever it is, seems like I'm still really struggling, right? And you start to see that, maybe I need to increase the hours, maybe I'm not putting enough hours, maybe I'm not doing the right things with those hours I'm putting in, right? Or sometimes you might look and go, I'm not really studying that many hours. Interesting. Because what happens is when you're feeling discouraged, you sometimes will think or feel like you've studied a lot more than you actually have, which just happens to the best of us, right? And so when you track it, it gives you an objective view to say, oh, this is what I've actually done. This is what's real. This is like the hard numbers per se. And using that data, you can start to actually organize how you want to study and how you want to attack, or how you want to, what kind of strategy you want to take to learning whatever language you're learning. I feel like a lot of people, they don't learn languages strategically enough, and it's something I might start talking a little bit more about because it's something I think a lot about, and I think a lot of people don't focus on that a ton. So, but anyway, I think we'll wrap the video up there because the rest of my day, it's only like literally almost 5 p.m., but the rest of my day is just boring, literally boring head down stuff that I can't really, I mean, I could show on video, but you just sort of see me behind a laptop or behind a phone. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye for now.
For everything you ever done for me, I won't lie in fear.